All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's inside the IFL. This is episode 38, if you didn't know. Uh, got Ed with me this time. Both of us have been dealing with some family dramas, if you will. Me, lack of sleep and getting out of work and feeling like a woman with PMS because I got all these cramps in the legs still, or whatever. And you doing what you gotta do over there, so. But anyway, team builds have begun to take place. I gave you a copy of every team build so we could go give a quick synopsis of each team here today. Talk about the start of the season and all that stuff. And due to what's going on Ed's end, we will get through as much as we can today. That sound about right?
Yeah.
What the hell? Oh, shit. I'm not quite sure what that was. Welcome to Inside. Is that where we're at right now?
Welcome to the lovely life of being a parent.
Jeez. Yes. It's a joyful thing. And that's it. And I say that honestly. It really is. But there's days where it's just lock them in the closet.
Like today. I know your girls are home because they didn't have any school. My kids are home because they're sick. But yet the boys are,
not acting
fighting or whatever. Dwayne's got a bloody lip, and I don't know how.
It's a battle royal in the Ritter home.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, but since as you said, you're not sure how long you're gonna be able to hang on in case they get into it really bad. Might as well just cover what we did into it again,
like they just did. I'm going to jail.
He's going to jail. All right, everybody, we're gonna have to put the donation button on IFL.com later. It's gonna be a GoFundMe page.
Get it out of jail.
It's gonna have to be a something. But anyway, as I stated yesterday to you, and you weren't able to join me for other issues going on, let everybody know who won the bids for which players, and you're aware of that list. Told them that the draft, when it was going to take place. So it's officially 2 weeks from today, the draft will begin. So October the 20th, that'll be day one, rounds 1 through 3. Sunday, the 22nd, will be rounds 4 through 6. I looked over the team builds. You gave it a brief look. We realize 6 rounds is going to be just fine, and any other roster spots that need to be filled will be taking place in a free agent pool following the draft.
Yep, I agree. I think I'm looking at it, and I think that's 6 rounds should be good. And then, like you said, whoever's left over that didn't get drafted, go in the free agency pool, and again, guys can bid on them and should be able to fill their roster.
Right. There was a particular player, I won't throw their name out, did happen to contact TJ and said, hey, what team am I on? Because he happened to play for that team last year as a non-star. And anybody who paid attention saw that Baltimore loaded up with a lot of non-star guys to give him homes. One of them reached out and said, what team am I on? Unfortunately for him, he had never gotten back to me when I was trying to put together the rookie pool or the free agent pool. Excuse me on that. And I even pointed out to TJ, take Rocket Perez, for example. He's not on a team. He wasn't even in the free agent pool. Hadn't heard from him. I wasn't going to hang on to all the dead weight. Guys I could see were active or were logged in more recently, I kept them. But guys who hadn't been logged in, hadn't been around, I reached out to them, didn't get a response. I didn't include them. There was a few of them. Not a lot, just a couple. So I happened to tell TJ, I was going to let him create a new player rather than be a non-star guy. Never heard from him. So
I'll be right back. I got to go make sure my daughters aren't burning down the house. Hold on.
It's an inferno match now in the Ritter home. But as I was saying, so everybody hears, I said, you create a new guy, but he never got back to me. I basically said, if he wants to stay where he's at with your team at what position, I really don't care. It's fine. It's a non-star guy. It ain't going to be no big deal. I'm sure most of the guys in the league ain't going to worry about it because we're all about trying to have some fun and enjoy the league anyway. So I'm figuring it's not going to be too much of an issue for anybody. So, but we'll get into that later as far as that goes. And
okay, I'm back.
Yeah, then the start of the season, gentlemen, is going to be the 1st of December. Games are going to be Fridays and Saturdays. And that's less than 2 months.
What a day.
Less than 2 months. So,
Good.
Your thoughts, and I shouldn't even say your thoughts, I'm going to ask you this. Being a coordinator with the Liberty, how involved are you going to be with Bo Davis in draft pick?
Would you please start addressing me right, please?
What's that?
I'm not just a coordinator. I am the co-owner of that team.
Co-owner of the team. He gets really, really aggravated when I forget that term. He wants his recognition, damn it.
Damn right.
I got Alex. What's up, Alex? In the chat. It says, "What's up, guys?"
What's up, Alex?
So, yes. So as the co-owner, yes. As a coordinator for Boston, I mean, you know it, I know it, and you've even said it. It's Bo's team. You're helping him. So how involved are you going to be in picking and choosing the talent? Is it going to be a 50-50 thing? Does he got full control? What's the plan over there?
Oh, no. I'm very, very hands-on. Because he understands that I've been through this enough to know what's going on. I mean, he's got a better understanding now after 1 year under his belt, but he still doesn't have a full grasp on everything. So he's still kind of leaning on me to give him, some more advice, and and I'm trying to teach him. So, but yeah, it's him and I are having conversations quite a bit. We text each other and other stuff, and he likes this guy, I like that guy, and then we seem to find guys that we both like. So yeah.
And I know there's going to be one question when it comes to that team. Everyone saw what Boston did last year. Bo apparently thought, feed the defense, and feed the defense some more. A build that I won't say haunted the team, but did give it some issues. Once they got Marcus in there as a coordinator running the offense, things started to gel a little bit. But if you look at the current team build, they do have 2 golds and 2 silvers. And right now it's 3 linebackers in those 2 tiers and 1 running back. So they've already included some offense in one of the top tiers. So was that you persuading him, or was that something he realized that he'd need to fix?
A little bit of both. He realized that, what he tried just didn't quite work. So he was willing to go a different route and see what happens. Because he understands now that you got to have your offense as well as a defense, or it just doesn't.
Fair enough. So kind of mentioned the Liberty, so I'm not going to take the time and waste any of it since I know you're on a short leash here.
So far, it's knock on wood. It's awfully quiet around here right now.
So I gave you the current builds of each team. Mm-hmm. And all Ed has in front of him is no different than when I shared on Slack the other day. He has the team name, who the coaches are, their current cap space, and then this time I've included a player count, how many players each team has, and how many how many they need. And the first one on the list, and I know Alex wants to get in on this because his team happens to be the first one on the list. It is the Hawks, but just to point his out for a quick mention. Give me 1 second.
All right.
I'm talking to TJ real quick. He's working on something for me, and he just sent me some things to look at.
Cool. Okay.
Give me 1 second.
that.
Okay, now getting back to Detroit.
You turn it off.
He's the first one on the list.
I have no idea then.
He's got his 3 gold players already locked in. We know who his 3 gold players are going to be. He's got himself a running back in Duncan Northrup, an outside linebacker in Jack Darr, and a wide receiver in Kyle Walsh. So we know what he's doing as far as that. And Silver's a fullback in Johnny Frost, who did very well in Philadelphia. So fullbacks, don't sleep on them. Defensive tackle Lincoln Fox, who I thought was a very solid defensive player, picks up Max Mondo at wide receiver and has himself at quarterback at the bronze level. So he's got his team, I'd say, mostly very well balanced. He's currently got $60 million contributed to the cap. He's sitting on $80 million, and this is the crazy part. He's sitting on $80 million and already has 3 of his golds. So he's got a lot of cap space left that he's going to be able to use, and he still has to pick up 7 players. So before I let Alex come in, because I'm going to let him come in and give us a quick whatever on his team, and then we'll let him get off the line. But I want to get your take on the Hawks.
It's interesting.
I think it's a very balanced build.
Oh, yeah. Very balanced, and it's interesting. I'm kind of shocked he went with a bronze quarterback, but we'll see. Since he's got a gold wide receiver, a silver wide receiver, and a gold halfback, maybe he will, see how that bronze quarterback plays out for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good build, and then I'm trying to figure out where this link is. I'm trying to get the link for this poor guy. Let him come in here and just give us his thoughts on what he's trying to do with his team, his plans. And like I said, we'll get him off. We'll move to each team because we're going to try and go through every team as we can with 16 teams. Don't want to be on here too long, but we don't want to rush through it either. So I sent the link to him. So Alex, you got the link sent your way. Mighty's joined us. Sup, folks? So keeping an eye on the Google Hangout. But in any case, while we wait on him, looking at that build, the outside linebacker to gold, I'm not sure if that's a smart move or not a smart move. There's so many differencing of opinions when it comes to the linebacker at a gold spot. It's not even funny. And I've talked to many guys who say, gold's not needed. They're fine that as far as bronze, some people believe, no, they need to at least be a silver. I know TJ, he's one guy that I've seen multiple times have gold linebackers. So, and we all know what a gold running back can do. We all know how dangerous a gold wide receiver can be. So he's got 2 very important pieces of the offense at gold, and that should help him. My question is, putting the quarterback at bronze, does it hurt that build, or does it not hurt it as much since the receiver is gold and he's carrying a silver one to back it up?
That's what we're going to find out.
And then he doesn't have a tight end on the team. Will he end up with a tight end? Some teams like to carry multiple receivers. Will he get a 3rd receiver? He's got that fullback at silver. Is he going to try and channel his inner Philadelphia flight? He was there, so he's very familiar with what they did. Is he planning on bringing that kind of style here? And if he is, why the gold wide receiver?
Good question.
So, and nobody knows what Alex can bring to the table at all. So, and I believe he just got on with us, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
There he is. All right, Alex. We're talking about your team, as you know. So if you can tell the people whatever it is you feel you need to tell these people about your team, your direction of your team build thus far, and what you're trying to accomplish. I mean, you have 7 of 14 players signed, so you still need to get 7 more guys. You've spent 60 of your 140 million caps. So you got plenty of cap space, considering all 3 of your golds are already on the roster and locked in. So what's the future hold here for the Hawks going forward here in the rest of the offseason?
Well, the future is definitely more defensive players. I've got a couple of defensive players already on my draft board, which I sent to you earlier today.
All right. Take it was in an email?
Yep.
All right.
Google Doc, actually.
Okay. Getting professional on me. You're targeting defense, huh?
Yep.
And I've got to ask this question because I know a lot of people were wondering it. What possessed you to give up the first overall pick for Duncan Northrup to be your running back?
He just played out of his mind last year. That's why I picked him up.
Yeah, because when there's trades like that happen for players, like New York, they traded for C.J. Coates at corner. My question always is a team giving up too much if there might possibly be a player on the rookie board in a very much similar build? But you were sold on him, so you picked him up, so that made sense. And Ed, what was your thoughts on Duncan Northrup last season?
Oh, he was pretty damn good.
Would you have given up the first?
I agree. I can I could see that. I mean, honestly, if somebody wanted to do it, I could understand it. Would I have done it personally? Probably not.
Right.
Because, like you said, out there that has very similar build, and you could have got him with the first round pick. So, but no, like I said, I'm not. Alex did what he felt he needed to do for his team, which that's good for him and his team. So, you can't knock it. If that's what he felt he had to do, then that's what he had to do.
And as far as defense, my philosophy is building from back to front.
Wow.
That's why I went after. That's why I created an outside linebacker for a goal.
Okay.
And why I picked up Lincoln Fox too, because I need at least a star up there to be competitive.
Right. And I'm going to ask you this question. Within your division, you got Winnipeg, you got Chicago, and you got Green Bay. Winnipeg being owned by Matthew Soper, Green Bay's Thomas Goodhart, and Chicago is the Capone triplets. Of those three teams, in your heart of hearts, which one's going to be your biggest rival?
Chicago. Because look at the sports history between Detroit and Chicago. They've always been bitter rivals.
So you're thinking the Hawks Grizzlies are going to have the Hawks and the Assassins. That's the one we should look forward to, huh? Yeah. Ed, what do you think? Chicago?
What's that?
Chicago would be the right answer to that question?
At this point, looking at how everybody's, you could say yeah, because right now Chicago's got 2 gold wide receivers.
Yeah.
I personally think he's going to go gold quarterback next. They do. And then everybody's going to go, oh my God, he can't do that. Yeah, he can. If he does it, and everybody else has got to figure out how to stop it. But you also have to look at it. If he goes 3 goals right there, that's going to hurt his defense.
Right. So, we're going to get to Chicago in a minute, but just to finish that comment on their defense, he currently has 3 silvers on the roster, and they're all defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you
and as far as my strategy with the gold, I was sitting there going, defense doesn't matter if you can't score points, so might as well lean towards the Wolves being able to score points for me than having them there doing nothing.
Cannot argue that. That's a very good point. Defense does. You're right. Defense means absolutely nothing if you can't score on offense. True.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying about this build for the Hawks. It's very balanced. Got players all over the field in different positions, both sides of the ball, across the board. That's why I'm very curious as to how this team gets finished, because he's only got half the roster. And that's the fun part with this. There's only one team that's basically done. That's Arizona. We'll get to them. But everybody else is like between 5 and 8 players right now.
I'll be right back. I got to walk in the kitchen for a second.
So I don't know if you want to give up too much information, reveal anything, but I have to ask. And like I said, you can say declined, I answer. I'm just curious as to what type of defense you plan on running.
Probably a multi-front.
So you're going to have a mixed bag of defenses, are you?
Yep.
And see, that's something I'll say about All Pro. And somebody might think I'm crazy, and there's some guys in our league that are more defensive-minded than I am, so they might have a better response to this comment I'm about to make. But I always think if you can come up with a very good, balanced build defensively, you can run multiple fronts. Ed, and then you stepped away. I asked Alex what type of defense he plans on running, and he basically said a mixed bag of everything. He's not going to have one set type of style of defense. He's going all over the board.
Everything.
And my statement is, I honestly think if you can find the right build, I think that can work. I honestly think it can work if you have the right build. Maybe I'm crazy.
You know me, I'm a defensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you should find your defense, your one defense you like, and build your team around that defense.
Yeah. But can he
Because I am
successful?
But the more versatile you are, the more they have to game plan around you.
Yeah. As I said, if you can figure it out to make it work, they can't focus on one style. That's my thought. But like Ed was saying, does it take away from the team? Does it hurt the team? You got to build around that one strength. So that's the joy of this. Everybody has a difference of opinion.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I'm of the mindset that, like you said, you pick your defense and you run with it. I mean, if you go look at other professional leagues, college, high school, they have a defense and they run it. They don't change it. They don't mess with. They run that defense. So, if he wants to try mixed bag of everything and he figures it out, then hey, that's something else. Everybody can go, oh look, he figured it out. Maybe that'll change the whole landscape of the IFL again.
Very well could. So,
because there's, like you said, there's so many questions about itself. Because there really is no right or wrong answers for how you approach, how you make your team to be in this game.
Right.
Because even though it's been around for as long as it has, and you can ask the so-called experts, even they still don't know what works, what doesn't work, how this works, how that works. You still don't know.
Right.
Because it's different, and everybody's going to agree with this. When you're the guy pushing the button, you know what you're going to do, and you know how you're going to do it.
Right.
You're not, and you rely on, and the artificial intelligence. Oh yeah, I went there. Big words. It's a whole different thing. I mean, you can study and study and study, and pick your playbook and go, this is it. This is perfect. This is what. And then when it gets in the game, then the computer will screw you, because we've all seen it.
Yeah.
Because the computer, I honestly believe, has a mind of its own. I think it gets nervous in certain situations, and we've all seen it, where it doesn't make any sense why they would call this or why they would call, when that should not be called at that point.
Right.
It's a crapshoot. It really is. It really, and that's why I said I'm not sweating it anymore. I'm not freaking out because I was too damn competitive and too damn. No, I'm not doing that anymore because I've figured it out. It just ain't worth it. Because no matter what you do, the computer's going to screw you eventually, and you just got to accept it.
Let's say welcome to the chat, Chisholm, and I want to mention Mighty RX, who is the coordinator for Baltimore. As far as I'm concerned, he might as well just be co-owner at this point. He has made a mention in the chat that the Bulls have their first 4 picks on the trading block. So rounds 1, 2, 3, 4 are apparently on the trading block. So if you're interested,
hold on, I'll be right back. Yeah, I did see that.
Whatever the case may be, get in touch with Baltimore and see if maybe deals can be made. So I just thought I'd throw that out there so everybody hears it. First 4 draft picks on the board for the Bulls. So Alex, so we can move on with the team builds here where we're at so far. Is there any final thoughts you want to give on your team? And then if not, I'm going to let you go, and we're going to continue on with the show.
I guarantee Detroit Chicago is going to be a featured game when we play each other.
And I'm just
guaranteed.
Guarantees. He guarantees. Well, I would just want to give him one more question then, since it's the guarantee, because it reminds me of a little chat that was going on Slack of one Mark Chisholm and the Denver Yeti of give us the trophy now. We're going undefeated. And Alex, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much responded with you're nuts because I'm doing that. So just
well, I'll throw my 2 cents in there right now and tell them both bullshit.
Jeez. If a team can go undefeated in this league, wow, that's all I'm going to say right now. Wow. Because I don't even know how it would be possible. I mean, we saw Arizona get close last year. And when I say close, they went 13-1. But how many times did they damn near lose? And now we have 8 more teams, and all those owners from last year now are learning how the IFL works because it's unlike any other league. There's other leagues that use the game, but this is unlike any other. It's its own beast. It's its own whatever you want to call it. And I think guys are figuring it out.
Yeah, we said it all year last year. What worked over there does not work over here. We've seen it.
Right. And I think these owners have figured some of this stuff out. And I think it's going to make them that much better this season because they've learned. They figured things out. They're trying new things. And it's going to make for a very much tougher league, in my opinion. I just don't see – I don't see any team – I'm going to call it now. I don't see any team winning 12 games.
Wow.
I just don't see it happening. Somebody might get to the 11-win mark, which to me is still going to be good. I don't even want to make a prediction until I see final builds, but I don't think we're going to have a team struggle as much as we saw New York struggle after they started out the box hot. They were 2-1 to start and then won 1 game down the rest of the season.
Yeah, that was
so.
Well, we all know what happened there.
Well, sure. Got worried and tried to make a change and never figured it back out.
They believed all of what we were all saying. All of us were telling them, you got to stop that, you got to stop that. So they freaked out. And then when they tried to mess with stuff.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I have a gut feeling this season's going to be a lot tougher. I'm not even going to be surprised because remember, it's 14 games. I won't be surprised if somebody wins a division with like a 9-5 record.
I could see that.
I wouldn't either.
Many a tough division.
I think you win a division.
I think the East
8-6 or 7-6.
Yep, I think that East division is going to be. I think we're going to beat the crap out of each other. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, remember that's 4 of the original 7 owners that came back, so all in one division. They're the ones who have the most experience. Those 7 have the most experience, and 4 of them in one division. 2 of them are over in the West. And Jax is in the South by himself. That's where they're all located right now. So that instantly
The
makes
North
it tough.
a crapshoot.
So, but Alex, if you ain't got nothing else, we'll let you go. So we're gonna move on to these builds.
All right.
See you guys.
All right, buddy. Thanks
All
for
right,
joining.
Alex. Thanks.
So, yeah, Detroit Hawks, interesting build thus far, I have to say, and we'll see where he goes the rest of the way. So, moving on down the list, the next one is what? The Green Bay Grizzlies. That's what one I put on your list, right? Green Bay.
Yep, that's next.
This is a very interesting build, and I'm going to say this for everybody. He's got currently nobody at copper. He's got two players at the. One player at the bronze, which is his tight end. At silver, he has free safety Turtle Jackson, wide receiver Isaac Fulmer. And at gold, he's got gold corner Justice Williams, gold defensive tackle Willie Blackheart, and gold outside linebacker Josh Smith. Now, obviously, that's three different players covering not only the line, but also the linebackers as well as the secondary, all in one build. So he's got a piece to each puzzle on the defensive side of the ball, and then comes back with another defensive player at the gold position, which is our silver position, because he doesn't have a safety in the gold spot. But outside of the three gold defensive players, you know what stands out to me right now?
What's that?
He's already spent $96 million, and he still needs to pick up 8 players.
That's insane.
He's got to get $44 million yet, and he's got to pick up 8 players. That, to me, is the most interesting part. Outside of doing that.
That means some guys are going to have 1, some guys are going to have 2, some guys might not have no abilities.
It's an interesting build. You know, we saw Boston last year go with the all defense, gold and silver. But he's got 3 different gold pieces, you know, because we already had 2 gold last year. But what do you think of the idea of going defensive lineman, linebacker, and secondary with these 3 gold pieces? Like a talk.
I don't know. Because unless you know how to use the defensive line, you're wasting your money. I mean, we've seen owners do it. I mean, here, over the other, you know, they try to do, and it just doesn't work. There are owners that actually did it and made it work. So, and, you know, this is, you know, Thomas's first time being an owner. And honestly, I thought it would be, from talking to you and you tell me, you know, how crazy he is, I thought for sure he was going to go a whole other direction and just go, I thought he was going to go batshit crazy and do something nuts, but. Right.
I mean, in a way, this is nuts, but I'll be honest. I expected it to be this way offensively, not defensively.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then when he took his own tight end, who was a gold last year and dropped himself all the way to bronze, showed me he had a plan. But, we'll see. I'm just curious how he fills in the rest of his pieces now.
Yep.
He's got 2 silver spots left. My thought by looking at this is if he makes that a quarterback and a running back, maybe that'll be okay. Maybe this build's not so bad after all. But we'll see. Like I said, I have no idea where he's going with this. I have no idea what the agenda is.
And again, I'm gonna say it. We have no idea what he does and doesn't know about this game,
right?
Because he's, you know, pretty much new to it, and he doesn't. So,
yeah. So, like I said, I'm very curious about the defensive side of the build here on gold. Very curious to see how it works, if it's effective, because I've never recall seeing this before anywhere ever. You know. Just covering all 3 elements of the defense with a gold player. So who knows if it'll work or not. And then the question I'm also asking myself is he going 4-3, 3-4? Is he going to do, like Alex was saying with Detroit, going to do a mixed bag of things? Is he going to run nickels? I don't know what the guy's going to do. So he's complete mystery to me right now, this team.
I agree.
So good luck to the Grizzlies.
Yep.
So move on to Chicago.
The ass ends, huh?
Yeah, the Assassins. The Assassins, just like the Grizzlies. If you take a look at it, they have saved $2 more million than Green Bay, but they have spent 94 of 140 million, and they're still short a gold player. So you figure he's obviously going to need another gold player. And this is something that stood out to me. So if you look at the rules, a league rule is your gold player has to have 3 abilities. Right there's $12 million contributed to the gold, whether it's showing up or not. So he's got 106 million basically locked into the cap just with the extra gold. And then of course he's locked into his builds with the next positions. But what I'm saying is gold wide receiver. He's spent $48 million. $4 million on ability. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the max a gold player can have? How many abilities?
6.
It's 6. If it's 6 abilities at 4 million, how many million is that? So it's 6 times 4.
Yes.
That's 20.
So what? 24.
Right. And if he's got 2 players at the gold spot with $48 million locked in, what did he do
They
to
both
those
got
players?
6.
Yes.
They got maxed out.
Both
They
of
got
them.
maxed out.
Both gold wide receivers are 6 ability max players. And this isn't revealing the build or anything. All you got to do is look at the cap space. You can see it. I have it wrote down. And I'm not going to reveal too much when too many teams, but this one's one of the most obvious. You look at a team, you see how many players are there, you see how much money they spent, you get a good idea now how many abilities are on these players. But the question is, who's got the more abilities? Well, in this case, it's plain as day what happened. So when you get a roster file put together and you want to build the Assassins, all you got to do is go to the roster page where it has all the players and say, okay, where's Tyrone Goodspeed and where's Macho Fog? Grab their 6 abilities. You're done. You know exactly what's on these guys. And like I said, it's no secret. And since it is no secret, I'm going to take the time to actually go over it. Why not? Because these are the wide receivers. Macho Fog, 6'3", 207, route god, breakaway burst, soft hands, possession receiver, speed burner, hops. Tyrone Goodspeed, 6'1", 199, quick feet, route god, soft hands, speed burner, breakaway burst, acrobatic catches. That's what he's got on the outside. So you said before we got to this team, you had a gut feeling he was going to go gold quarterback as well. And somebody might whine, oh my God, you can't do that. Well, yes, you can because the league voted that it was okay. So with 2, how shall we say it, 2 gold wide receivers, if you bring in a gold quarterback, I'm no expert.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
Is it that dangerous you don't even know what to say? Where did he go? I'm not even sure. Ed, you there? Sounds like it. Where is he? Yeah, Chisholm, you said they thought that was a. He left. Be right back. I didn't hear a word. My screen just kind of like flashed out. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, we were going to put it up for revote, and then I got together with the staff of the league, and they basically stated if guys wanted to vote things in now, why give them the opportunity to vote things out later if possibility of them voting it out is the reason because it could change their own personal chances. Because when we originally voted on it, it was for the benefit of the league. Now the teams are beginning to be built. Guys might be voting against things just to get their own benefit. So we said, you know what? Lock things in. Call it a day. It just seemed to be the fairest, honest way to go. So anyway, Ed, I don't even know if you heard the question.
No, I didn't. Sorry.
But I was saying how you mentioned before we even got to Chicago, you thought they might be going gold quarterback to capitalize off the 2 gold wide receivers. First of all, how much money is he going to put on the next gold when he's already really down on low on cap space? $94 million.
Well, some of the experts that we've known that have played this game say you only really need 2, maybe 3 abilities on a gold quarterback, and you're good. So,
right, we'll take T-Pat. Everybody's familiar with T-Pat. When he used Rocco Marconi at my time with him, when Rocco was tearing up the league, he only had 2 abilities on him, and it was quick release and leadership. Not many people knew that, but that's all that was on him. So, wow. So, like you said, if he can pinch some money on the quarterback, yeah, and then put the money into the 4th silver, load up his bronze players, because Charlie Hogan's at bronze. That's his 3rd wide receiver. We got to point that out, because this is another thing that needs to be pointed out. Bronze has $10 million next to it. How much is an ability at bronze?
They're 2, so he's maxed out.
Right. All 3 of his wide receivers are maxed out right now. So, could we say air raid with this team, maybe?
Yeah.
That's all I can think of is this team's going to throw the ball. More power to you, Chicago, because I'm afraid of throwing.
Right. I think he's going to go gold quarterback. I do. If not, he's going to go a silver, because even with those weapons, I don't think a bronze is good enough to get them the ball. I just don't. I don't think a bronze quarterback is going to help his team do anything. So it's got to go silver or gold.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. So, but yeah. So, moving on, because we could talk about that forever. We'll move on to the next one. This is Winnipeg. The Winnipeg Crusaders, Matthew Soper. He, like Chicago and like Green Bay, is already in the 90s. These guys, like I said, 96 on the Grizzlies, 94 in Chicago. Well, Soper's right in the middle with the Crusaders at $95 million. And 7 players. He's got 7 players to go. He still needs to get another gold player. He's maxed out all his silver players, has a kicker at bronze.
You're the kicker on that team.
So, and letting his son know he became the kicker of the Crusaders.
And he's not happy about that.
We got our first holdout.
His question was, why am I always a bronze? Everybody makes me a bronze.
He's a kicker. I honestly thought all the kickers were going to end up copper, so I think he got an upgrade.
Really? You're going to cry because your brother's got a gold star player and you got a...
But let's take a look at I love it. Take a look at his gold players, quarterback and running back. $44 million is in the cap space there. His silvers, he's got $48 million spent there, and that tells anybody who has common sense. 4 players already at silver at $48 million apiece. He's maxed out all his silvers. They have max 4 abilities.
Give me a plate, please.
So he's got that going on, and I like the build per se. It all depends what he does with the 3rd gold. Gold quarterback, gold running back, then it's silver. It's the gold corner, silver corner, silver defensive end, and 2 silver wide receivers with the kicker at bronze. Me personally, if I'm him, that 3rd gold's got to be defense. It's got to be defense.
I'd agree with that.
Here's my question, and I'm sure Stoper's really thinking about it. Does he make that gold a safety? And I don't care which one it is, because he might have a philosophy where he needs a strong or a free. Or does he make it one of his linebackers? Because here's the point. Whichever one he doesn't make it, the highest any of those guys can be now is a bronze. He will not have, if he makes it, say, a strong safety, because some people believe a strong safety in this league is a very dominant player. So let's just say he goes with that theme. He gets himself a gold strong safety. That means if he has a free safety, it can only be a bronze. If he has any linebackers, the highest they could be is a bronze. How much does that hurt the team? Or does it not hurt the team? It makes his build interesting. And I'm trying to follow some of the conversation in the chat, see if guys have opinions on these things or whatever. But Winnipeg's build, to me, is a very intriguing one, to say the least, because I'm just not sure where he's going to go the rest of the way. And he's short on cap.
Question.
And he's got $45 million in cap space left. $45 million. and he's automatically got to lock 12 of it into his third gold. So he's got $33 million for the rest of it, which ain't too bad when he's only got to get 3 coppers and 3 bronze players. So he might be just fine. So, but discussing these 4 teams just on paper, one team's got 7, 6, 6. So 2 teams got 7 players, 2 teams got 6 players. So it looks like the Grizzlies and the Assassins are going to be scooping up a player following the draft in the free agent pool. But just off the hunch, because it's way too early. It's way too early. But we're just going to have some fun with this. With current builds, current layout, who do you think, in your opinion, looks like the toughest right now?
No, I'm not even going to make that.
You can't pick that?
Nope.
Why not?
Because there's too many questions for every team.
Well, of course. That's why I said based on what you see.
Nope.
Because I can tell you,
nope,
for me,
not doing it.
Here's what I see. I see a very balanced build right now with Detroit. Very balanced. I see a lot of cap space left. With the Grizzlies, clearly he's going defensive heavy. Therefore, we've seen it last year with Boston hurt an offense. Is he going to add more offense at the silver? That's where you're saying about questions. If he does, it makes this build look that much more different and much more interesting. Chicago, if he takes a gold wide receiver like some people are thinking could have, quarterback with the 2 gold wide receivers, how dangerous does that team become if he knows how to throw the ball? Because like I said before, I'm an idiot when it comes to throwing the football. I wouldn't even take that risk. And if he's figured it out, then more power to him. And it would be fun to see a team just wing the ball all over the place. We saw New York try it last year, and even though they threw 6,412 interceptions, they moved the ball well through the air and were winning games. And then when they went away from it, they all lost, fell apart. But if he doesn't hurt the defense too much, that team is going to be dangerous. And Winnipeg, like I said, very good balance at silver, strong offense at gold. Where's he going to take that third gold? He's got the kicker. That kicker could make all the difference. I mean, how many times could they be in a game where it's 4th and whatever, and they're in no man's land, and in comes the kicker, and he hits that 3 points, and that's the difference. You know, and you take a look at real football. Special teams, to me, is the most underrated part of football. It wins games. You pin a team deep. You know, you kick a field goal, you block a punt, return a kick. You know, it's totally
but it can
underrated.
also lose you a game too.
What's that? Can lose you a game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, if, and this is if, I'm going to give you my assumption. This is if they fill in the rest of the team properly and get the freaking cap space together and load up on abilities with what they got left. Because of the balance, I like Detroit right now. Just because of the balance. I think it's by far the most balanced of the 4, and I think balance could be a very, very positive thing for the team. But again, he's very low on cap space spent. He's going to have to start spending some money in some places, and we'll see. All right, so that's the North.
Cool.
Does Ed didn't want to make a shot and take a guess? We're going to go on.
Nope.
We're going to go into the South. The South has 5 players on their team right now and have spent $52 million. And their current build is a gold tight end in Punky Streets, and they've spent $16 million at that position. They spent $24 million on the silver spots, and they got strong safety JoJo Spade, who's coming back, and wide receiver Aiden Friday, who's coming back. At bronze, they spent $12 million, cornerback Jax Diamond, and outside linebacker Castro Patron. All 5 of these players were on the team last year. They've made no pickups of any other sort, and the only move they've made is they made a trade. As I mentioned on the podcast yesterday, they've given up the 4th overall pick to the Outlaws for the Outlaws' entire draft outside of the Outlaws' compensatory pick in the 3rd round. So they've just loaded up on draft picks, and you figure they now have 11 picks.
So and basically they're my Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, they have 11 picks and need 9 players. So we'll see if they are willing to move some picks around to try and move up a little bit. If not, you know, they're going to finish their team off in the draft. And that might have been the goal. So looking at this build, this team has nothing to go off of right now.
No.
I don't even know where to go with this.
They made that move, and they got all those draft picks. Like I said, they're doing what my Cleveland Browns do. but he changed his uniform coat to look like the Pittsburgh Steelers. How funny is that?
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna call him up and be like, hit him up on Slack and be like, look, Ed made up a point. You got to go brown and orange. You got to. You're the Cleveland Browns right now. But yeah, he's stockpile picks. Stockpile picks. I mean, there's a ton of picks that team has. 11 in a 6-round draft. You got 11 picks. And he needs 9 of them. That's the crazy part. So, but like I said, I look at his team build and I don't know what to think. Because there's so many guesses with this team. When you only got 5 players on the team, I don't know what's next. He's got 2 gold spots open. I don't even know where he's going to go. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, defensive tackle, defensive end. I don't know. He could be anywhere all over the board with this team.
We'll definitely say this. We definitely know he's not going with a second gold tight end.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure. That killed him last year, and I think he learned his lesson. And as we say that, can you imagine if all of a sudden he signs
a gold tight end?
Another gold tight end? Did he learn his lesson and then he's figured it out, or did he not learn his lesson and he's going to try it again? I don't know. But I have way too many questions with this team and this build to even begin to know where to go, as I mentioned. So
yeah, that's because you look at it and you're like, gold. I mean, he can go anywhere,
right?
And then once he gets that silver, he can go anywhere.
Yeah, he's still got 2 slots there.
Yeah, you don't know.
Right. So, unfortunately for Jack's Diamond and the Tampa Bay Stallions, there's not much we can discuss with this team, so we can get to move on. So, we're going to go to the Nashville Nightmares, who have spent 74 of the $140 million cap, have 7 players on the roster, and the current build is $48 million spent at the gold spot. Quarterback Conley Jones, who will be a scout for the team. Free safety Elijah Meggett, and halfback Caleb Shiloh. Meggett and Shiloh are both of Spurgeon's players this year because he retired his players from last year's season, which was himself, which honestly, I have to admit, when he retired himself, caught me off guard. I was like, okay. And then he went and retired Kareem Wilcox, who a lot of people really enjoyed watching.
Right.
So he could have had both.
Well, we know why he retired himself. That's no secret.
Right. So.
Because he said it from the get-go. His guy was just too damn short.
Yeah, so then he comes back. Like I said, that's quarterback, free safety, halfback. Then he's got an outside linebacker at silver with 12 spent and $8 million spent at the bronze with an inside linebacker. So he's got 2 linebackers, and then he's got 2 coppers already locked in. $6 million spent, so he maxed these guys out per the rules. He's got a 3-ability tight end in Ryan Moxon. And then he's got a 3-ability kicker in Johann Sebastian Mastropiero. So
you gotta love that name.
Yeah, let Drew know his kicker's a bronze. This one's only a copper.
Hey, Drew, look at their kicker. Look what he is on this team. Last name on the list. He's a copper, so he's lower than you. Yeah. So relax. But still.
Right. So when I look at this build, here's what I see. Gold quarterback, gold running back. Can't go wrong. The free safety. We haven't seen a gold free safety in this league, so I'm excited for this one. What can it do? And then he's got the 2 linebackers, so he's putting some value into his linebackers. Targeted special teams. Got himself a tight end. Will he have a blocking tight end, a receiving tight end, a mixed tight end? That's the first question. But here's the thing. He's got 3 silver players left. Where does he go? Because I don't see a wide receiver on this team.
He's going to have to go. I would think he would have to go silver.
I mean, that's the thing.
You have to go wide receivers. I mean, because I'm not.
And he's on. And,
I don't know about
now
wide receivers. Copper, because you definitely can't go copper wide receivers because you're going to screw yourself for sure.
And that just dawned on me. He doesn't have any corners either.
Nope.
He's got 3 silver slots left. What's the chances that becomes two wide receivers in a corner, or 2 corners in a receiver, and then he puts the other one at bronze? I think that might be a strong chance. What do you think?
Yep, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and then he's got 1 more spot at copper that he can fill in anything, and he still can pick up 3 players at the bronze level. So
I need some more.
His build, per what we just discussed, seems to be very promising and favorable as long as he fills in the pieces properly. Like I said, the Elijah Meggett free safeties really got my interest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see that. I mean, that's one of my more exciting things that I'm waiting to see in the season. Out of all the team builds, it's that. So, but all in all, what do you feel just as a whole on this build thus far? He's got half his roster put together. What do you think?
It's interesting. Like I said, you can't go wrong with the gold quarterback and halfback.
Right.
And you can see where he's going with this defense. But then, now the question is, what else is he thinking?
Right.
Because, like you said, he could go two wide receivers in a corner, two corner in a wide receiver. He could not even do that and go somewhere else. It's it all depends on.
Yeah, his build's wide open.
Yeah, it all depends on what Maurice feels is the right way to go.
Right.
And like you've said several times, and we're going to keep saying, that's what's great about this is everybody has their own opinion on what works, what doesn't work, and then they're going to run with it.
Right. And here's what I'm going to say. He's got a lot of experience with this game and doing things with this game, but this is the first time he's going to have to do it himself.
It's a lot different when you get to do it yourself.
So, but just to jump on it, I will say this. I thus far, I like Nashville's build a little better than Tampa Bay's. And that's because Tampa Bay's is so what's going to happen next, it's hard for me to see. With Nashville, I'm more comfortable with.
Right. Please stop. Sorry, but the children are starting again.
Okay. All right, moving to the next team here on the list, which will be the Atlanta Rhinos. They have $61 million cap spent, have 5 players on the team, and I have no idea why that says Dwayne Ritt. I don't know why the R is missing. So they got a gold quarterback and Dwayne Ritter, $16 million spent $45 million at silver, where they have 2 receivers, a corner, and a strong safety. Have no players at bronze, no players at copper, and have only 5 players on the team. So the only spot where they're full on is silver. They still can go anywhere with these 2 gold spots, and then they have nothing at bronze or copper. And we all know if you put that together in the right spots and the right players in those positions, it can make a hell of a difference. We've seen copper players last year do well, same as bronze. So he's got cap room. He's got cap room. And I do like the 2 silver receivers. I do like the corner and the strong safety at silver. Where does he go with linebackers? Is he going to add defensive linemen? That's the other question. Where's the free safety?
Right.
Does he get a running back, and where does he put him? Well, I'm sure he's going to get a running back, but where's he going to put the running back? Because the running back, if he's not a gold, can't be no better than bronze.
He's got to go bronze. Right.
So that makes it interesting. So, and I want to mention again to the guys in the chat, if you have comments, thoughts, opinions, fire them at us. We can go over things.
Heck yeah.
But with this build, like I said, it's too open. It's just like Tampa Bay. It's hard to go over it to give you an honest assessment. But the silvers to me is A+. A+ on the silvers.
Oh, I like what he did with silvers. Yeah, I'm not going to.
So, $45 million spent.
Won't bash him for that. But like you said, there's too many questions. And this is another first-year owner.
Right.
How much does he know? How much doesn't he know? Or how much does he think he knows? Let's put it that way. Because,
yeah, like I said, he's got $12 million.
I'm not going to lie. We all think we know more than everybody else. I'm not going to lie. I think I know more than this person, and that person thinks they know more than me, and this person thinks so. It's like, that's why I like this, because everybody's different. Everybody approaches everything different. So,
all right, and it becomes a guessing game with his silvers, because he's got $45 million spent. If you do your math, 3 of those guys are maxed out. One of them is missing an ability. Somebody's got 3, the other one's got 4. I mean, that doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that one out. It's just a matter of who he didn't max out, which is an interesting thought when you want to try to put your team together. When you're going to be competing against this guy. So if you're in the South Division, that's something you want to look at and figure out quickly, because it could help you. But again, like with Tampa Bay, there's not too much we can say, so there's not too much more to talk about. So we might as well move on to another team that's in the same boat, very few players, And it happens to be the father of DW6 Killer, and that's Charlie Monk with the Dallas Wranglers. He's got $20 million spent on his quarterback at gold, $36 million spent on the 3 silvers, which tells you they're maxed out, all of them. And Justin Beakley Jr.'s at bronze, $10 million spent there, which means he's maxed him out. So the only player currently on his roster that didn't get a maxed contract is his quarterback. He's got $76 million spent, a little over half, and he has more players to sign than he doesn't. He's got to pick up.
What's the quarter? He should have just went ahead and gave him an extra $4 million. Maxed him out. Because he got 5 on him now. Why not just give him the 6th?
Plus, that $4 million will be spent somewhere wisely. So here's the things that stand out to me with this team. Gold quarterback always stands out. 3 defensive players at silver: a corner, a free safety, and the inside linebacker. And Jack Law was one of my favorite players last year. And Beakley's at bronze. And we know when New York actually used Beakley last year, he had hellish good games, and he was only a bronze with them. So that doesn't concern me.
And he's maxed out.
Right. So it doesn't concern me that he's got his running back all the way down to bronze, considering I've seen it work last year. The question is, will he put together the playbook to make it effective?
Right.
So my question is, with no wide receivers on the team, where are they going to be? Because you only have one more spot at silver. You still need a corner. You still need a strong safety. You don't have a tight end on the team, but you carry one. Where's he going to go gold-wise is my question. It's a big guessing game with that.
I mean, you could go gold wide receiver and then a defensive player.
Yeah. Could he go?
I mean, he could go.
Well.
I mean,
it's interesting. I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm coming up with all kinds of answers. Mm-hmm. But what if he went his second corner and his strong safety that he's missing?
Could do that.
Strong safety outside linebacker. What if he's one of these guys that like defensive linemen? Or is he going to pull what your hunch is with Chicago? 2 gold wide receivers to complement that quarterback. What is he going to do is my question. This team.
And in this case, it would make sense because they have the bronze halfback. So they won't put any pressure on bronze halfback to do anything, and it'll just be, and it won't have to worry about using him as much as.
It's an interesting option.
Hell yeah.
But considering there's so many questions with the Wranglers, so many questions with the Rhinos, so many questions with the Stallions, I'm picking the Nightmares so far as the better team.
I could agree with that one. Just like I said, because the other teams are just so many questions. You just have no idea.
So, but that's the North and South divisions.
Nice.
Already taken care of. So we got 2 more divisions to go. And we're going to go into the East. We're going to go to the Boston Liberty, which is a team you're the DC and co-owner for.
Thank you. Thank you. About time you give me my credit, damn it.
$84 million of the $140 million cap space spent. 7 of 14 players have dropped $36 million on your golds, which is a halfback and Ernie Clapper, inside linebacker John Burns. $18 million at silver with inside linebacker Ed Ritter and outside linebacker Michael Stonebreaker. I spent $30 million at bronze. 30 million people at bronze with 3 players. You know what that means. Wide receiver Andre Berry, cornerback Bo Davis, strong safety Isaac Butler. Butler was won in the free agency as a free safety. The team used the option to move him to strong, which is within the rules. And Coppers is currently open. So as I look at this team, I see a team needs 1 more defensive player. One more gold player, 2 more silver players, 1 more bronze, and all of their coppers. The cap space is already kind of high, but half the roster signed, so that's a plus. And I've already seen changes here with Boston. Offense at gold, which we didn't see, but they have 4 players between gold and silver. Last year, when they had their 6 players between gold and silver, 7, they were all defense. Right now, it's 3 out of 4 are defense. And the strong safety's at bronze. So that's one thing that stood out to me. So since you're there and you're working as the defensive coordinator, it's a big census right now that strong safety is a very key piece to the defenses in this league. You have yours at bronze. Does that concern you at all? And my guess would be no, or you wouldn't have done it. And
you know me. You know me by now. I don't sweat nothing.
I mean, here's the other thing. You got to go a bronze wide receiver. I'm assuming you're bringing in a second wide receiver, and I know you don't want to reveal too much. Will he be a gold? Will he be a silver? So that becomes questionable. And my thing is, what's going to be that third gold for this team? Because to me, it's a very key piece to how you guys are going to finish building. And one thing I see is 3 linebackers at gold and silver, and 2 of them are inside. So that means you're going for a 4th linebacker. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Where is he going to be? And it proves that Boston's going to be going 3-4. And if I know you, you're not going to make no secret.
You should have known that. This ain't no. There was no secret.
So I mean, I look at this and it's like inside at gold and silver, outside it's silver. So I have to ask, where's the 4th outside? The 4th outside linebacker. He's the second outside linebacker, with the 4th linebacker going. Will he be a bronze? Will you drop him the copper? Or were you going to get nuts and put him to gold? I know you don't want to tell me the answer, and you shouldn't, because it could affect your draft day. But it's the most curious question that comes to my mind when it comes to this team.
Yeah.
So,
because we can pretty much do what we want.
I mean, it's a wide open guess. What this team's going to do, and I'm going to ask you this. Like I said, you're involved, Bo's involved. Who's going to get the final say on that pick come draft day? Because it's got to only be one or the other, because there's a strong chance you're not going to agree, because you have 2 different minds, 2 different philosophies. Who's going to get the final say? That's the pick. Will it be?
It's going to be me.
Even though it's technically Bo's team and you're in there as a co-owner, you're going to override him, are you?
I'm older, so yeah, I'm allowed.
So you're going to use the respect your seniorities card on him, are you?
You're damn right. No, we're going to break it down, and we'll figure out what position we want to draft where and how we want it and what we think, and we're probably going to come to an agreement on who we think we should get.
Right.
I'm sure there's going to be a disagreement somewhere, but
right.
Eventually we'll come to agreement. Say we want this guy, want this guy, want this guy, want this guy.
Well, since you're making that comment of discussion and this, that, and that's something I want to mention. As an owner, co-owner, coordinator, did I rush to judgment and when I set up the draft, or do you think 2 weeks to the draft from today is plenty of time to prepare your board?
Oh, 2 weeks is fine. I think 2 weeks is good enough. If you can't figure something out in 2 weeks on what you want to do, you're never going to figure it out.
I got to quickly touch on a comment from Mark Chisholm in the chat. When will the final list of draft picks be ready? I have that list. I can post that for you guys at any time. I'll post that on the boards somewhere on Slack. I'm not sure which channel as soon as we go off the air with this podcast. And do know draft picks can be traded, be moved. Players are making moves all the time with their team, so it can constantly be edited as we go forward and seeing what people want to do. Because like I said, I still have to make the quick edit. That's why I can't post now. I still got to make the edit to the trade between Arizona and Tampa Bay. So, but yeah, I'm looking at this team. You guys need 7 players. Clearly, one's going to gold, 2 are going to silver. One's going to bronze, and then you have the 3 coppers. So it's an interesting build. I like the build thus far. You're really loading up on linebackers. And again, that goes to that age-old question. Depending on who you talk to, linebackers are highly important. Some people don't think you don't need nothing but a bronze. One thing's for sure, Boston might show us what exactly the importance of a linebacker is. So we're going to move on to Philadelphia. I know Davis is going to comment on this, I'm sure, once he hears the show on Slack later, but I'm going to have to go and get into it. This is a team that started out, then got real hot, and then he threw in the towel. We actually had people saying he shouldn't keep his team, this, that, and the other.
There's quite a few.
Right. He had his reasons. While I don't know one person who agreed with his reasons, he did it. So he wants to come back this year, and he even said this to me, and make up for last season. And not only because that he started to lose and he didn't think his team was good enough, but because of what he did. He's owned up to it, which is why I'm 100% cool with keeping him around and I have no interest in losing him. Plus, he brings a lot to the table for me as being like a right-hand man, so to speak. So, and it wasn't because of that he got a pass. He did get reamed, and he knows that. And I think he chewed himself out more than I did. So he got a lot of credit for me on that one. But getting to his build, he is one of the more animate people in this league that say a strong safety is the shit. You gotta have one. What did he do? He retired his defensive tackle in Cox, and he went and created Dick Dawkins at strong safety and made his ass a gold. $24 million spent in gold on one player. So you know what that means. That player's maxed out.
Mm-hmm.
He has a 6 ability gold strong safety. Insane. Comes back with a corner and a wide receiver. It's Johnny Gaddett, wide receiver. Nick Samuel, a corner who he had last year. Both spent, and he's got $18 million spent on them. And then at bronze, he's got a free safety in Sean Taylor, who was an absolute beast in New York. Mark Chisholm, if he's still in the chat, can tell us about that because he was the one using him. Nate Ryan's an inside linebacker, and King Cannon, who was a gold with New York, is now a bronze here with Philadelphia, and with Cody Ewing, who's King Cannon. He will be the defensive coordinator for this team. $60 million spent, $80 million still to be played with. Only 6 of 14 players. 2 spots at gold open, 2 spots at silver open, 1 bronze spot, all 3 coppers. Your guess is as good as mine of what he's going to do next.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean, his build is so wide open. You know, you could sit here and guess all day long, like we talked about, and figure out what he could possibly be doing. And I like it that way, to be honest. I really do.
Yep.
These are the builds that are interesting because I like sitting here and trying to think I'm a smart ass and think I'm a wise man and can guess and come up with something. When chances are I'm going to just be blowing my own smoke up my ass. But I look at this build, and it's one of the more curious builds for me, one of the more entertaining builds for me. I like this build just because of the strong safety, because I agree with the statement of a strong safety is key. I think that is a very important piece. I've seen it. I think that was what made Arizona so dangerous defensively. I think without it, I don't think they'd have been as good because of the way Tank Tatum ran all over the field. But that assumption could be completely freaking wrong, and it could have just been an overall build is what did it. And it just made him look that much better. But David Lee in Tokyo did the same damn thing. Totally different build. So, you know, that's why I come to the conclusion I come to with my thoughts and my opinions on it. And I think Davis is in the same boat with what he felt. So, nonetheless, that being stated, moving on, because we can't talk about this team too much because there's too many questions. We'll get to the Baltimore Bills. The Baltimore Bills have spent $74 million, have 7 of 14 players locked in. They have all 3 of their gold players locked in with $40 million spent. They got a running back in Evan Muir, a wide receiver in Evan Muir, the running back in Redfield Littlejohn who returns, and what was a strong safety last year in TJ Spears, he's moving to corner, and it's silver quarterback TJ Speaks, defensive tackle. Aaron Maximus, who was an absolute animal last year, just wreaked havoc in the backfield all along. And then at bronze, Jake McClellan at inside linebacker, and the free safety is Gary Smith. Like I said with Detroit, this is a very balanced build, covering everything, every different place on the field at different tiers. Clearly, they need to get a wide receiver yet. They're missing another corner. They don't have their strong safety now that they've moved Speaks to corner. So there's a lot of question marks what's going to happen where. But all in all, I think this is one of the more balanced, solid builds.
I agree.
And then a big shock. You know, it's coming from one of the longtime vets playing this game. So,
but what don't they have?
A quarterback? No, what do you mean? What they don't have?
What's he? You said it earlier. What he usually likes to, what he believes in, and he doesn't have one.
I don't know. Oh, the linebacker. Yeah.
Outside linebacker. They don't have any.
He's normally one of those guys that runs a gold linebacker. He will not be doing it this year. So that's one of my guesses that he was going to make a linebacker at Silver. Part of me is thinking both Silvers are going to be linebackers. I mean, that's a part of my guess, but I could be completely off the wall considering I'm not sure how he feels about making his strong safety a bronze or a copper, because TJ Spears was an animal last year as a strong safety. So I know they saw that and they witnessed that. How much are they willing to go away from that is my question. But yeah, that is the most shocking part of the build. I honestly thought when he submitted his roster, and it was originally Little John and Spears, that third gold, I already had it in my head penciled in that was going to be a linebacker. And then when he ended up making the bid for Evan Muir to be a gold, I was like, wait, what? So did he see something last year that he's willing to address to make his team even more dangerous? Because let's face it, outside of Arizona, this was the most dangerous team last year. Right. And they've made some changes. So what did they figure out is my question. Or did they not figure it out and they're taking a shot? That becomes a bigger question. So your overall thought, though, on the Baltimore Bulls?
Oh, I think it's pretty balanced, like always. Now I want to see where they go.
Right.
Because, like I said, they like those linebackers, and then they don't have them linebackers, so that's kind of
different.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at them going, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's intriguing. Yeah. It's intriguing to say the least, and it's very catching me off guard, as I mentioned. But I like this because now it's something different. And quite frankly, let's think about it. TJ has been very consistent with what he does for the most part, in my opinion. You pretty much know what he's going to bring at the table. He's got that, you know what I'm going to do, now come beat me. Can you still have that same opinion and that same attitude with this new look? Because this is a new look, in my opinion, for him.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at last year's team, and, he only had the gold wide receiver and gold running back. His linebacker, his highest linebacker was Tyler Moxon at bronze. So he did kind of go away from this last year as well. We just didn't catch it, I guess.
Right.
But he had 2 silver corners. Does he continue that same thing this year? No, because he made one of gold. So either way, he's trying something different, something unique from last season. So
right.
It's an interesting situation. And he's one of the owners, and it's no offense to any of the other owners, but it's because of his experience with the game and his longevity in the game as to why he's got one of the more sets of eyes on him, so to speak, and people are more interested in his team than others just because. So I'm very interested in what he puts on the field because he's got that experience. Pay attention to what he has. So, all in all, I do like his build more of the other ones in the league, but that's mostly because he has most of his pieces filled in.
Right.
It's not as much of a guessing game. You're pretty sure where he's going. All right. Next team on the list. Where am I?
New York Cobras.
All right. Your thoughts on the New York Cobras? Because here's the build for those who don't know. Gold corner in CJ Coates. Again, I'm missing a letter. This is weird. Strong safety, Peyton Chisholm. Silver, he's got wide receiver Drew Ritter, wide receiver Alex Zeli, inside linebacker Robert Bose. At corner, at bronze, it's cornerback Slinky Atwater. And Danger Moon returns at defensive end. So he doesn't have a quarterback. He doesn't have a running back. He's missing some key pieces. $83 million has been spent. He's only got 7 players. So looking at his team, my gut tells me that gold player is either going to be his running back or his quarterback, and the silver was going to be the other one. But then I remembered he was one of the guys that ran a bronze last year. Maybe he does it again. So if he runs a bronze running back, quarterback's going to probably be gold or silver. You'd have to if you got two silver wide receivers. Then my question is, what's going to be the other player? What position is he going to put in that slot? And I'm not sure. Because, I mean, he can go anywhere. They have a free safety, his other corner. Does he go for another linebacker? I like the way the build has shaped out for him so far. And it gets you guessing if you're trying to outmaneuver against him in the draft. You don't know where he's going to go.
Well, he's not going to go another corner because he's not going to carry 3 corners, is he? He's got 2.
You would hope not. He needs the free safety, and I think he needs at least an outside linebacker. I think that's the 2 pieces he needs defensively. He needs a running back. He needs a quarterback, as we mentioned. So he's got a lot of question marks. But here's my question. Clearly, he went away from what he did last season. That's a given. If you look at the team last year, he loaded up on receivers.
Right.
At gold. He had 3 of them, actually. He had a gold and Drew Ritter. King Cannon was his quarterback at gold. Then he came back with 2 more silver wide receivers. And then he capsized all his receivers with Charlie Hogan at copper. So he ran 4 wide receivers. My gut tells me he ain't doing that again this season.
I'd agree with that one.
But give me your guess. Give me your honest guess. What will be that third gold piece?
I don't know, because we know Taco. He's nuts. So who knows what he's thinking?
What's his taco? There's a difference between nuts and stupidity.
That's true. But, I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
Because you know as well as I do. He could have a plan right now.
Mm-hmm.
The day of the draft, scraps it and goes a whole other direction. He's been known to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my gut tells me it's going to be a quarterback. It really does. Or it makes him my second guess is he goes running back. Even though he went bronze last year, maybe he says, "Oh, I got to upgrade that. I saw how it failed me last year." And then does he come back and then make the quarterback silver? I just can't see him making his quarterback anything other than a gold or a silver.
I'd agree with that.
So that's my guess. So my money would say if that's not a gold quarterback, it's definitely a silver quarterback. So it's an intriguing build, to say the least. And Ramos letting us know he's here. He's been listening, so that's cool. Thanks for Ramos for listening in. But Baltimore and New York, I have to say, I love both these builds so far. So we've only talked about 2 East teams, and before we even got to the East teams, we even said how we thought this could be the most dangerous division, the most beat-your-ass division, the toughest division. And this is the first time I've really looked at 2 builds right from jump and really like both. Go figure.
Yep.
So, that's 2 of the 4 is what I should say, because I did like the flight build because there's a lot of questions. Boston's build, the linebackers is really dangerous. So, all in all, these 4 teams are built very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And Philadelphia, to me, is going to be the biggest question mark because he's got a lot of spots that he can fill in. Where is he going to go? Because he's left his golds and silvers wide open.
Right.
So good luck, ladies and gentlemen, trying to figure him out. So, all in all, don't be biased. What team you like the most so far? See if you can actually.
You gotta go. You gotta go with the proven guy. I mean, you gotta go with Baltimore.
Yeah, that's where my money is right now, and it's not because he's the proven guy. It's just because of what he has and where he has it and the money he's spent. That I could say that, But if you're not going to pick him because Philadelphia's got one too many questions, if the linebacker situation works, I'm going to tell you, you guys in Boston might have something. And I've never seen it done like this. If it works, it could be just ridiculous what that team could do. And that defense was already good last year. Now you're over there. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. So, all right, let's get to the West. First team up is Mr. Ramos's team. And how convenient since he just joined us. They have $61 million spent, have 6 players to the roster. He's only got 1 gold player in Konami Kubota at corner. He's got wide receiver Joey Knight, wide receiver Aiken Atsumi, and free safety Mookie Whitaker, who he just got in free agency. At bronze, James Dupset at quarterback, and then he has his place kicker / punter, Boo Weaver at bronze. And when you look at this team, he's got a lot of cap space left. He still can get another silver player. It's the 2 gold players that are missing that makes you sit here and say, where's he going to go? What's he going to do? Who's going to be that player? What's going to fill that spot? Does he go to what he did last season? That's my question. Because remember, he had a running back and a wide receiver there last year. This year, he's got a corner. Neither one of those spots are filled. Is that what he's going to do? Running back and a receiver? If he goes receiver, he's going to carry 3. So my gut is going to be a running back for sure, considering his receivers are silver and his quarterback is bronze. So I'm assuming it's going to be a gold running back. That 3rd gold, your guess is as good as mine. It's really scouting this team. He's very, very quiet over there.
My phone just went.
So,
because I was looking through everything on my phone, and now all of a sudden my phone's going to take a shit. So,
but your honest thoughts for this team so far?
I don't know. To be honest with you.
I like the build.
I mean,
it's wide open.
I like it, but it's going to be interesting to see what he does.
Right. And 2 golds wide open, questionable. The quarterback at bronze, I've said this to you days ago when the first build was released. The quarterback at bronze scares me, but if one guy that I've always seen be successful that way,
he does
is Mr. Ramos. So
yeah, he always does.
It's like, okay, that thought, that fear, that concern, you can throw it right out the window because he does it and does it all the time. So Davis asked what he's missed. We're currently talking about Tokyo Kitsune, which is the first of the 4 teams out of the West, and we've already covered the other teams, all of them. We still have 3 teams to cover. That's it. Recapped when the draft is. It recapped when the season starts. Did a little once over on those things. So, but all right, that's 61 million, 6 players left. Now here's the big one. This is the Arizona Outlaws. This was the team that went 13-1. This was the team that won the championship. They have spent 123 of 140 million and have 12 of 14 players. So there's only 2 spots left on this team. That's it. And they're both coppers. That's it. And when you look at this team, the first thing you ask yourself when you look at a build, do they have a quarterback? Yep. Do they have a running back? Yep. Do they got receivers? Yep. So they got then they got the tight end. So the offense is already covered. Defense. Do they have both their corners? Yep. Do they have their free and their strong? Yep. And they've got 3 linebackers.
Yep.
Where are they going? They got everything that you could want. The team is complete. And this is the joy of carrying 14 players. They're missing 2 pieces of their puzzle per the roster build. And they have everything that you could need on a roster already covered. So what's your guess? Where are they going?
They could go defensive line. They could go. Could be crazy and carry a 3rd wide receiver.
Well, they did do that last season.
So yeah,
are they going to go nickel a lot and carry another safety, which they did last season?
Do that. Yeah. Go nuts and go 2 tight ends. So I mean, it's. Good question.
Here's another weird thought. Outside linebacker, DJ Quick, and I'm going to go over the team build here in a minute and mention all the players. But they got DJ Quick at outside linebacker and Gunnar Durango at inside linebacker. Ricky White's at outside linebacker. Are they going to go 3-4 all of a sudden, carry another linebacker?
I doubt it, but they could.
So, but just to cover this team build, $44 million spent in gold. They got quarterback Mario Savage, running back Kit Rambo, strong safety Tank Tatum. At silver, $36 million spent. Cornerback Stevie T. Diggs, free
Jasmine
safety.
McDonald's for supper.
Yeah, free safety Jimmy Cash, wide receiver Bobby Treefeather, wide receiver Ricky Balboa. $40 million spent on the bronze, which means they're all maxed out if you can do your math. Cornerback Willie Casper, outside linebacker DJ Quick, inside linebacker Gunnar Durango, and tight end Hootie Koo. And $9 million spent at Copper, which is totally wrong. That's supposed to be $3 million. So $3 million spent on Copper, which means Ricky White is maxed out as an outside linebacker. So there you go.
Awesome.
So I mean that team's maxed all across the board.
Tell me to get down here.
Players filled in everywhere.
Help too.
Taking a look, and here's the thing: this is a team that did well last season. All right, they had a strong safety and a running back at gold. Guess what they got back this year? A strong safety and a running back are still at gold. Their quarterback was silver last year, where they struggled. Now they moved him to gold. Will that make a difference? Their other silver players were a corner, a free safety, and 2 wide receivers, the exact guys they have this year. Their 4 bronze players last year were Quick, Durango, Koo, and Casper. Guess who their 4 players are this year at bronze?
Same ones?
Casper, Quick, Durango, and Koo. Their coppers last year, like I said, was an outside linebacker in Booby St. Brown. They have the outside linebacker now in Ricky White. But they carried that third receiver in Tyrone Goodspeed and that free safety in Mookie Whitaker. Do they go back to that? This team has the exact same build to a T they did last year, except for the exception of Mario Savage moving from silver to gold. The exact same build.
Damn.
So when you think about that, knowing how good this team was, you wonder, they've learned just like I've learned. If you're a coach, they've learned just like I've learned as an owner. Does that make this team that much more dangerous? Or does it make no difference considering the other teams probably have gotten better? And yes, battering ram is banned. Chisholm asked if battering ram is banned. Yes.
Yes, battering ram is banned. Banned for life.
Yeah, it's just too important in this league. You know, so it is what it is.
They do have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona has one question. What do you think it is?
I'm not sure. What is it?
Is that halfback going to be as good as the guy they had last year?
Good question. I would say no,
because
just because
that guy was a beast.
I'd say no because what made him dangerous last year is banned. So my gut would say no, he can't be.
Okay, so does that hurt that team now?
I would say no, because other teams that had it, that were using it, can't use it either. So it evens the playing field regardless. But per the question again, does it hurt the team? I would also then say come back and say yes, because of the simple fact of that was their bread and butter.
Yep.
And without it, how good are they going to be? Because now it's been taken away.
Well, the entire league is going to find out.
So is this the reason why they moved their quarterback to gold to make up for the difference? Even though they struggled throwing the ball last year? That's my question. So, yeah, it's very valid questions with this team. Very concernable questions. So, yeah, it's interesting. But all in all, obviously, you can pick this team over Tokyo just because Tokyo's got too many holes.
Right.
So we'll move on, which the next one is the Denver Yeti, Mr. Mark Chisholm.
I can't talk about the Denver team. I'm sorry.
Yeah. $52 million spent.
No, I can't talk about Denver.
Well, they got $52 million spent on 5 players. They have 0 gold players, dude. Not a gold player on this team.
No, that's crazy.
2 silver wide receivers. And at bronze, they got strong safety Lucas Fulmer, strong safety. Again, that strong safety down in the depths. A tight end in Slinky Watts, and an outside linebacker in Alvin Phenom. Again, I don't know what to say about this team other than too many holes. Where are they going with gold? Because your guess is as good as mine.
He's going gold. He's going gold quarterback.
You would assume. Where's the running back going to be? Now remember, this is Mark Chisholm. He's a defensive-minded coach.
But at the same time, we also know that he is very adamant about having a gold quarterback.
Right. So does that make the other two gold players defense, considering he loves his defense? Or is he that confident he can win with bronze?
Then again, he might say, you know what? Watch this. And go all gold offense. Who knows?
Wouldn't that be something?
But honestly, I'd be shocked if he didn't go gold quarterback.
Yeah, I would agree. That's my guess too. That he's going gold quarterback for sure. My bigger.
And then after that,
the running back
he can go anywhere. Yeah.
To me, that's the biggest question. Where is he going with that running back? Yeah, and then he's got
I don't think he'd be any lower than a silver. I don't think he's going to go bronze. I think he's going to go – his running back's going to be either gold or silver. I think he's going gold quarterback. And then the third one, who knows?
Let's just say two gold players are going to be running back and quarterback. That means that third gold, in my opinion, is going to be a defensive player.
Yep.
Because I don't think he's going to shit on his defense like that. Where's it going to be? Is it going to be one of those corners? Will it be another linebacker? Will it be his free safety? That's where when you're in the draft and you're drafting against him and you're in his division, you don't even know where to go. You're clueless. True. And that's probably designed that way to make you clueless going into the draft. So, Denver, you got one too many questions for us to really give you a fair evaluation. We will be able to do that once the draft happens because we're going to be coming back doing this again after the draft. Yeah. And we're going to have prediction specials and the whole 9 yards. So, yeah, this team's wide open. Your guess is as good as mine. So we'll get on to San Francisco, which is the biggest question mark of all. Every team. They have $56 million spent and only have 4 players on the roster. How about that?
That's crazy.
$20 million spent on the wide receiver Shane Negron, who was a non-star wide receiver with Tampa Bay last year. That's silver. They have $36 million spent in 3 players. So that means they're all maxed out to the rules. So they all got 4 abilities, and they got halfback Marcus Bose, cornerback Joe Starr, and outside linebacker Booby St. Brown. Nothing at bronze, nothing at copper. So this is a team that needs a quarterback, needs another receiver, possibly a tight end, needs a corner, needs both its safeties, needs another linebacker. Wow. That's where's he going to go? Is my question.
Yeah. You don't know.
It's completely out of mind where this team's going to go and what they're not going to do. So I'm clueless with this. And it's wow. And I have to be honest and say, with my son doing this team and the way he spoke to me prior, I'm actually shocked he doesn't have more players. I'm shocked he didn't make an attempt to get players in the free agent market. I thought for sure he was going to do that. He sat on everything and didn't touch a player. So my guess is he's like something in the draft and he's going after it.
Yeah.
And there's a phone ringing in my background. Give me 1 second.
All right. Alrighty. Let me get over. All right, I'm gonna get on YouTube now. See if anybody's posting anything in the chat. And Chisholm says, "Here's his evaluation." Wow, championship. Woo. Okay.
That was the wife giving me a ring quick from work.
Oh, I didn't see that.
What's that?
Chris might be moving, huh?
Yeah, I saw that.
And of course, there's Chisholm running his mouth out. He's going to the championship, and he's going to do this, and he's going to do that.
And all I got to say is this. Didn't
they run their mouth last year? And when he was in New York, didn't he say the same thing? We're going to do this in New York. We're going to do that. And what'd they do? Oh, yeah, that's right. Get choked.
Oh, God. But I got to mention this, though, about Davis saying.
I got to give him shit.
Yeah, the possible bad news about the schedule, this, that, and the other. Real simple. My work schedule makes the league only doable Friday and Saturdays. That's it. Can only be done Friday and Saturdays. Cannot be changed, cannot be edited, cannot be moved. And if for some reason I'm stuck doing all 8 games, we're going to end up having bye weeks. Not bye weeks as in bye weeks, but bye weeks as in the season will be broke down into 1 week into 2 weeks. Because I'll only be able to do half the games 1 week and then the other half next week. So a 14-week season would turn into 28 weeks.
Holy crap.
Because I can only run 4 games a week with my schedule. I can only do 2 on Friday and 2 on Saturday. I mean, no way in hell I could squeeze in another 4 games. His tone.
Guess what? My tone is never going to change as long as you keep your team named Denver.
Gonna put your ass in timeout. Oh my God!
No, I love it. No, I got to pick on
16 teams. We've covered them all. We've discussed them. We've gone over them. My question to you is, who do you like the most as a whole?
You'd be stupid not to say Arizona. They got the exact build back. They got everything back. The only thing that's a little different is they got a different running back. But still, it's the same thing. So how can you not say Arizona?
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy that they have not even did a rookie draft and they basically got their team. They have two players to get. That's it. Everybody else has, crap load.
Right. I got to touch on this. I got to touch on this because it's just been brought to my attention from Cody Ewing, Mr. King Cannon. He made a post today on Facebook on a sports talk page that we're both members of. He writes this. This is NFL related, so I just want to throw this out there because Davis is in the chat, and I got to see him get fired up. It says, so when are people going to stop this? Jameis Winston is the next big quarterback thing. I've been trying to tell everybody since he played at Florida State that he was way overrated, and he just keeps proving me right. He played horrible again last night against a terrible defense. Some of y'all need to stop this is going to be the year he breaks out stuff. Open your eyes. He is showing you the kind of quarterback that he really is, and y'all ain't paying attention. So, we get comments, and this is where Davis is going to fucking just get fired up with some of these comments because this is priceless shit. One guy said he totally agreed, yada, yada. One guy said I've seen him twice, and he's never wowed me. It's his 3rd year. He throws 300 times each year. I'm a diehard Falcons fan. I also watch Matt Ryan grow, and he grew into be a superstar, then turned into an MVP. Jameis Winston could possibly still be going down that path, which is a valuable argument because Matt Ryan wasn't the greatest thing either when he first started. So, one guy said, what? They had three missed field goals, turnovers. They should have won the game. They dropped the ball. There was a 10-second runoff. You can't blame everything on Winston. Valuable arguments again. Give him some time. This is only his year 3, and he's progressing well. With Martin back in the lineup, the box can be scary. Okay, whatever. Some guy said some same crap people talked about years ago with Teddy Bridgewater being better than Blake Bortles. Bridgewater is better than Blake Bortles, hands down. Had it not been for an injury, Bridgewater would be blowing things up. I don't believe that at all because Teddy Bridgewater to me is above average quarterback at most, but he's efficient. Then there's just some more arguments how shitty Blake Bortles is. Well, they're deferring the conversation from Winston to Bortles, which is funny. So here's the fun part. we have got to give a quarterback 3 to 5 years to polish, especially. There's been some good arguments here and there, this, that, and the other. So this guy says the amount of time depends on where you draft him. Wentz, Goff, and Watson all look better than Bortles now. In fact, none of them look as good as Winston to me. So he has stated Watson, Goff, and Wentz are all shittier than Jameis Winston. Another guy proceeded. One of these guys just said that Jameis Winston is a better quarterback now than Watson, Goff, and Wentz. It's too early to give an honest opinion about Watson, so stop talking about him. Goff last year was this year he's looking better, and Wentz is a stud.
Hell
Jameis
yeah.
Winston can't even carry a freaking whatever you want to call it, whatever word I'm looking for, because that annoys me. To freaking Wentz, it's just they're in two different leagues. So the guys, one guy basically says you're crazy, another guy comes back and says, look at the stats, look at the numbers from college now to pros. Carson Wentz is an overrated bum with an overrated arm. His ability to scramble out of the pocket is laughable. His ability to look downfield is laughable. The only reason why Wentz does anything is because the team has a good team around him. Whereas Jameis Winston has nothing to work with and lights it up. The fuck?
Is this the same quarterback that has turned the ball over, 50 times in 2 years? Really?
The fuck?
50 times! He's turned the ball over 50 times, but yet this guy's going to say, oh, he's the greatest thing in the world! What football do these people watch?
And I'm trying not to be biased here because before Carson Wentz ever started at the college level, I seen him in their spring game. I seen him in high school. I went and got a hold of Ed, and I've said this before in these podcasts. That's the fucking dude right there. This guy's going to be a stud. He's only at North Dakota State. I remember you saying that to me. It's North Dakota State.
Yeah, because you were telling me, I was like, what? Where? You got to watch this guy. I started watching him like, oh, my God.
The statement of you got to give him time to polish, I agree with. But how long's Carson Wentz been in the league?
Was this his second year?
How many weapons has Carson Wentz had? I really don't count Jordan Matthews as a weapon, do you?
Not really.
That's what he had last year. He really, in my opinion, don't have weapons this year because, I'm not sold on going out of your way. And this is what Davis is probably going to agree with this, but be angered because it is his team. Look at what they did to improve that team for Carson Wentz. They went out, got him so-called weapons in 162-year-old Alshon Jeffrey and 3,424 Spartacus era Torrey Smith. They're not weapons. They're just veterans who've been there, done that. Okay? They put Blunt in the backfield. Okay, that helps. That helps. Smallwood has played well, in my opinion, and Corey Clement's going to be that fucking dude. I'm just sold on him. I like the offensive line, even though it still has some help. My ball, Zach Ertz at tight end. He's always efficient. But Nelson Aguilar, whatever, Matt Collins, Shelton Gibson. These are he doesn't have weapons yet, and look at what he's still doing.
Mm-hmm.
You give him the quality of receivers that say Peyton Manning had his whole career. Not that I'm going to compare him to Peyton Manning, so don't jump to conclusions. Just imagine what this kid could do. I think their defense is fine. If Philadelphia goes and contributes everything they can to that offense the rest of the way, really getting serious weapons, the sky's the limit for Carson Wentz. And Jameis Winston has always had better people around him. Because I'm sorry. There's not been a running back in the backfield better than the muscle hamster. Doug Martin's better than anybody that Wentz has had behind him. Just saying. But I just had to completely change the subject because I laugh at that shit when I see comments like that.
Well, since you went there, I have to bring it up.
Okay.
When is Mr. Newton going to grow up?
He's not. He's an overrated, overhyped bum. He sucks.
I mean, I'm sorry, but when I saw that whole thing, how it went down, and what he said, and I wanted to reach through the screen and choke the living shit out of him.
I'm not going to call it a sexist comment. I'm not going to call it about anything like that. I'll call it a childish comment, which goes to your statement. When's he going to grow up?
I mean, because of his statements, he's losing sponsors now.
Yeah, they took the Dannon one from him, which has been his big one.
Yep. They said they're done with him.
And here's all I'm going to say about Cam Newton. I've gone on the record with this on other shows. I've gone on the record with this on legit radio shows that you can tune into through ESPN and other shit, and you know this. I've been completely adamant that Cam Newton is the reason why Carolina's never been successful. They've had good seasons. They've had great years. They've been in the playoffs, made it to championship games, all that stuff. But it's because of the team, not him. Okay? That's fact, in my opinion. It's obviously debatable in opinion, but to me, it's a fact. His accuracy is average. His ability to see downfield is just ridiculous. He doesn't see things develop. He never has. I'm a huge Auburn fan, Ed. You know this.
Oh, I know that.
So I've watched him grow. I also seen him come to Auburn because he couldn't beat out Tim Tebow. That's the truth. He left Florida because he couldn't beat out Tim Tebow for the job. And I've stated this 1,000 times, and I will say it again right here since I brought up Tim Tebow. If you go on your computer anytime you want, gentlemen, and watch a Tim Tebow highlight film, then turn on a Cam Newton highlight film, and just picture them in a silhouetted shade, you won't know who the fuck you're watching. They're identical. Identical.
I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I thought when you made that statement to me, you were completely nuts. Until I started watching the film. And after I started watching, I called you and said, oh my God.
They're the same. There's little things here, there. One does a little different than the other, this, that, and the other, but it's so tiny. It's non-talkable. You just, whatever. They're the same damn guy. This is it. Okay. So that being said, why he's gotten so much time in the league, I don't know. Why he's gotten so many opportunities in the league, I don't know. To me, he does not belong in a starting quarterback role. He never has, in my opinion. But because everybody deserves a shot, he deserved his chance. He deserved his chance. He deserved it. I know. I mean, like some people will talk to me now about his team, what he's doing. Here's the one thing I'm going to give Cam Newton right now. I'm going to give him his props when they're due. His completion percentage entering this season was the low 50s. Low 50s. And everybody wanted to talk shit on Tebow, talking about 48%. 48%. I don't give a shit what your completion percentage is because I'm worried about your winning percentage. That's it. I want to know your winning percentage. So here's what I'll give Cam Newton his due. He's completed. That was weird. Did you get the echo there?
No, it kind of just knocked me out there for a second. It went out, and my computer went out for a second. I thought that was weird.
But he got a 62.5% completion percentage against the Bills, a 65.4% against the Saints. But he had 3 interceptions in that game. And he had a 75.9% against the Patriots. 3 touchdowns and a pick. So he had a very good game. I give a quarterback his due when it's due. But his overall completion percentage now has climbed to 58.7 based off current numbers. He's got a much better tight end, TD ratio to interception ratio. His quarterback rating is, I think, 86 all time, which is cool. But like I said, he's still not a legit full package quarterback, and he's been successful because of what they put around him. He's the product of what's around him. Always has been. And I know guys are going to hate me for these comments, but it is what it is.
All right. And then I want to go one other place. I know it's just the IFL, but you know what? I don't get to talk NFL a whole lot with people. So I'm kind of hijacking the show. We're going to NFL a little bit. But are the Pittsburgh Steelers falling apart?
No.
You don't think? Not even with, crybaby throwing the the cooler and his own quarterback coming out and saying he's nothing but a distraction and it's starting to get old. And
exactly. There you go. You just said it. Starting to get old. What we saw out of Antonio Brown flipping the cooler, acting like a little baby bitch, is nothing new. Been a crybaby. He's always been about me, 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 me. I can't tell you how many people have gone to autograph signings where he's been and said he's nothing but an asshole. He's a piece of shit. Nobody likes him that I've ever met. Nobody. The one lady posted, because he came here to where I live in Lancaster and signed autographs. I forget where it was. And he was scheduled to be there from 4 to 6. Well, he didn't show up until 5:15 and only stayed until 6. And this lady said she's in line. She's there with her daughter, who's 9 years old, wearing her Antonio Bryant jersey, wearing a Steelers hat, Steeler everything, with her glossy picture ready for him to sign. And when that clock hit 6 o'clock, he stood up, said nothing to nobody, and left. And that little girl was next in line to get an autograph because he was scheduled till 6. The fucker just left. What is that?
Damn.
This is all he's always been, and it's never bothered the team. It's never bothered him. It's never gotten in the way before. It's never been an issue before. He's a diva.
But my question is, you've never heard – Ben's never come out and said that. Never said, I'm getting – this is –
right.
So is now this starting to be – which for me as a Browns fan, I love it because, I can't stand Pittsburgh. So
here's why Ben said it.
They fall apart.
Here's why Ben's saying it, in my opinion. True or false? Was Ben not considering the option of retiring before the season started?
Well, there you go.
Retirement's on his mind.
Excuse, huh?
Retirement's on his mind, so he doesn't care. So now he can speak because I think, like I told you, before the season started, I did say to you, I don't know how good Pittsburgh's going to be because I don't know if Ben's heart's in it because he wanted to retire. But I think he did you've always been there for me. You saved me from going to jail on rape charges 603 times. I'm going to come back and pay the price, do the return favor and give you a season. I told you when the season started, this was it for Ben, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So he has no worries about talking because he's done.
Yeah, and Chris just posted that he's stunned because he didn't think that Brown would be this type of dude. I got another little story about Mr. Brown because I've got it popped up on the computer one day story. He has a son.
God, here we go.
That he wants nothing to do with.
Yep.
This boy's like 9, 10 years old, and he has basically told that the mother of his son, and the words were, "You keep that little fucker away from me." That's exactly what this article said. I'm like, what the hell?
Pretty sad, isn't
it? It is. It's like, wow. I had a rough day today with my kids. Everybody heard what, probably heard it or we even talk about it. But I would never in a million years tell them, keep that little fucker away from me. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand the mentality there. I don't understand.
He's a piece of shit.
That's a good question, Chris. Chris says, why the Steelers give him $100 million again? You tell me.
Because he's a good ball player. That's the thing. Take a look at the NFL. It's the one thing that drives me crazy about the NFL. It don't matter if you're a drug user. It don't matter if you fucking like to shoot guns. It don't matter if you're a gang member. It don't not matter what the fuck you do. If you know how to throw a football, catch a football, block a guy, sack a quarterback, your job is safe. Because these multi-billion millionaires want to keep continuing to make their money. And how do they make their money? By winning football games. Like the one thing I always say about Dez Bryant, because to me, he always has problems catching the football. If that football was made out of his mom's throat, he'd never drop one.
Oh, man. You had to go there, didn't you?
Of course. That's just the way it is. The one and only time this league actually put its foot down and said, fuck you, you don't deserve to be here, was with Ray Rice. And that's the truth. Ray Rice deserved what the fuck he got. Because here's the thing, and this is the truth. It is a privilege to be in the NFL. It's a privilege. Because there's how many kids right now in college? How many? There's how many colleges that
shitload.
You know, just take Division I. There's what, 125 of them or something?
Something like that.
So you take 125, and the round average, each team probably has at least 100 players on the roster. Would that be a fair statement? I'd say at least 100 on every roster. You know, some have more.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
So the ones that are like at 140, 50, there's other ones that have about 60, 70, so it gives you an average. So if you take 125 schools just in Division I and give it by 100 players, that's 12,500 players just in D1 as a minimum guess. And how many guys get picked in the draft? 256, something like that?
I thought it was less than that.
Right. The small percentage of guys who actually make it to a team. The reality of it is not even 3 full college rosters get drafted based on the numbers we just came up with. Because 100 is a fair average. Not even 3 full college teams get drafted to become members of the NFL roster, and even those guys get cut. So when you get there, it's a privilege. You fucking treat it that way. You know, this is a kid's sport, and you're getting paid millions for it. You act like a professional. So when you treat your woman like fucking a caveman and drag her out of the fucking elevator, you deserve not to be in the league. If you run over somebody at the fucking bus stop because you're drunk, you deserve to be out of the league. You know, that's
yeah.
You know, these
and then you know, everybody who's in the league knows I'm a Browns fan.
Mm-hmm.
Pointed, not just because we're shitty right now. I am disappointed at what some of these players have said when they've interviewed over the last couple weeks. Guys are saying, "Oh, we don't play for the fans. We play for us." Fucker, you don't start playing for the fans, you ain't gonna have a job because people are not gonna go. It's getting bad, and it's like I don't get. How do you make that statement as a professional? Well, I don't play for the fans. We play for it. No. No.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, what a statement. Whatever.
It's sad.
And like I said, it's just getting harder and harder to be a Browns fan. But I've been with them this long, and I just can't. I can't quit on them. There's been days when I want to, but I haven't done it yet. I just don't get that. Like I said, I don't understand it. And it seems like every sport anymore. Some of these athletes, you just look at them and go, oh my God, what were you thinking? Or, you know, why would you say that? Or why would you do that? I mean, don't they understand that they're under a microscope at all times? No matter what they do, it's going to be scrutinized and combed over and looked at and picked. I mean, when are these guys going to learn?
Yeah. It's a shame. You know, these guys should love the sport they're in. They should love to be a part of it. At the end of the day, these guys should stare at the football league and love it the way Rihanna stares at weed. But they don't.
All right, Chris, I can tell you this right now. Any Browns fans that said that are not football fans. They're idiots. Those are the fans that piss me off. Fans that make stupid comments like that. There's no way Kaiser's better than Wentz. There's not. That's what. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, too early for that bullshit. Doesn't mean he can't.
It is. No, and then of course I have to hear, oh my God, they passed on Watson and look what he's doing in Houston. He's kicking ass. He's doing it. There's no guarantee if he was in Cleveland, he'd be doing the same thing. And even I know that. I'm keeping it real because I know what that team is doing. There's no guarantee that any quarterback that they draft comes in and does anything.
And the intelligence level to make that statement is kind of my, I'll compare it to my stupidity when Hugh Hefner died. because when he died, I was like, rest in peace, Rosie O'Donnell. I was like, oh crap, sorry, it said Hugh Hefner. I thought it said huge heifer, but it's the same kind of stupidity.
Okay. Throw it away then. But yeah, I don't get it. I like you said, it's a privilege to be in any professional league, but these players just don't get it that there's guys all over the world, that would give their left nut to be able to do what they're doing, and these guys just piss it away or whatever, and it's like, just makes me sick. It just does.
And to touch on what Davis just said, he said that netted him Jabril Peppers and that tight end. The tight end's David Njoku.
Yeah.
So he did get hurt, didn't he? Or is that my imagination?
I think he might be hurt.
So, but
I don't know.
Like I said, you and I could do a podcast like this and just completely talk about NFL all fucking day.
Oh, we need to, because, dude, I need to just vent some shit and need to start talking some NFL. And
it'd be nice if we did that, and then we got guys that actually want to chime in, get on the air, and give us their take on some shit. Because I ain't talking.
Heck yeah.
I don't proclaim to be an NFL expert, but what I do claim to be is better than half the guys on TV. Because I know for a fact, toot that I am.
There you go.
I mean, let's put it this way. How many times have I brought up a player to you to discuss in football? I don't care where, what college, and it's usually in college because I love college football. And I'll mention him to you now. I can mention a player to you now, and I don't have one to bring up just as an example. But if I brought up a player to you now, you've never heard of him. But by the end of next month, you hear about him by all the experts.
Oh, yeah, there's been quite a few of those. Mm-hmm.
It's mind-boggling to me how that happens. So, for example, I brought up Carson Wentz as an example. He's one guy that I've done that with. Allen, the quarterback with Wyoming, I mentioned him to you on how long ago, and he only just started getting hype. That kid would be doing a lot better if he was on a real team. But, it is what it is.
But yeah, like I said, there's been several players you've talked about, and then within a month, the so-called experts, they're all talking about him. Like, wait a minute, you were talking about him a month ago. He said, I told you. I'm telling you, dude, your phone is tapped something.
An example of a player I just recently brought up to you. Can you remember his name?
Oh, dude, we talk about so many guys. You have to give me a little more than that.
Running back.
Kid from Wisconsin?
Yes. Do you remember his name?
I can't, and I should know him since he's in the Big Ten, but I can't remember his name.
I should remember him. He's in the Big Ten. That's what you got to give me right now.
I do.
To remember him, he's in the Big Ten. Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor. I said to you before the season started, he's going to be that dude. I've gone on record. Davis, you are in the chat room. You can confirm this. Double check it because I don't know because I never did look into it. I don't think Davis even thought to look into it either. So I'm going to look now before I make the statement. And then I'll reveal the statement anyway. So just
hold on. I'll be right back.
Give me a minute to look at this. I want to see if it can possibly happen or not. Because I'm just curious.
Getting McDonald's right now.
Of course they don't. Well, I had told Davis before that if Wisconsin plays Penn State, Jonathan Taylor will outrun Shaq Barkley.
I don't think they play each other this year.
They do not. They will play each other in the Big Ten championship game. If they both get there. That's the only way.
All right.
That's the only way. Because Wisconsin's winning the West.
I'm not going to agree with that one, but
Wisconsin's winning the West. They're better than Iowa. They're better than Purdue. They're better than Northwestern, Illinois, Minnesota, Nebraska. They're head and shoulders better than everybody there.
they should win that one.
And
yeah.
then in the East is always going to be wide open. Rutgers is out of it. Indiana's out of it. I don't think Michigan State's as good as the 3-1 record shows. Maryland's no way near as good as their 3-1 record shows. Michigan, to me, is a very suspect 4-0. Ohio State has shown many times vulnerabilities. So I don't think they're as good as 4-1 shows. And Penn State is, while undefeated, look just as vulnerable as anybody else. So that's wide open between those three teams. So if they get to play, that's where they're going to play. So anyway, I just think Taylor.
Sorry, I'm a Buckeyes fan, so you know that. So I'll never say anybody else doing that. No, I'm not biased. That's just how it is.
You're biased. You have to admit the other team.
They do, but it's still. Right. I disagree with your statement of they're
not vulnerable.
4-1 record doesn't show. Well, they can be, but have you seen their last time in the games? They're starting to figure it out.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at Penn State. Northwestern.
I like Penn State too. I think Penn State's tough.
They got Northwestern this week. To me, should be an easy win. Then they got Michigan and Ohio State back to back. They're home against Michigan, but they're at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And they're at Michigan State. Get Rutgers, Nebraska, and Maryland. They can get through Michigan and Ohio State. I don't think they're going to lose any of the other games.
I'd agree with that.
So
Penn State's looking good.
Just to me, Penn State's been so vulnerable. Whatever. So I'm trying to see. I haven't gone into the chat room to see what anybody's saying. I know Davis will. Let's see. He says. Hold on. Here we go. Yes, I agree. Barkley possibly winning it. Davis did disagree about my statement over Barkley being outrun. He wants him to be an Eagle, and it sucks because I know it won't happen. He's probably going to be a Brown. When you say he's going to be a Brown, I'm assuming that you're referring to Shaq Barkley. That's what I'm guessing. That's the statement. I'm thinking that's what he means. I'm going to find out. They do have a good player over there in Penn State. That one safety, that 6'2", 207-pound safety from Maryland. What's his name? Marcus Allen. That is such a great name, ain't it?
If you say so.
Anyway, you tell me, who do you think's had the tougher schedule so far?
As far as who?
Or Wisconsin?
Wisconsin?
Yeah, Wisconsin or
as
Penn
far
State?
As Wisconsin.
Who's had the tougher schedule, in your opinion? And if you're totally unaware of their schedule,
remind me. Yeah, you got to remind me.
If you take a look at Penn State's schedule, Penn State, they beat, who was it? Akron week 1, Pitt, Georgia State, Iowa, and Indiana.
Shit, they ain't played nobody.
Right. Think about that for a minute. Indiana, Iowa, Georgia State, Pitt, and Akron.
Akron.
That's it. And Shaq Barkley only has 574 yards and 4 touchdowns. 574 yards and 4 touchdowns against competition like that. Wisconsin. This is who Wisconsin's played. Utah State, Florida AAU. So it's Florida Atlantic. BYU. Let's be honest here. Northwestern, it's a division game, so it's usually BYU's never really been a pushover, but they're not great. FAU, we'll see what they're going to do. And Utah State, whatever. So in 4 games, Jonathan Taylor has 518 yards. 518 yards to 574 in one more game for Barkley. Barkley's got 4 touchdowns. Taylor's got 7.
Wow.
In one less game. And to me, the competition really ain't much better or worse on either side. He's outperforming Barkley as far as I'm concerned, greatly. This week they get Northwestern. Penn State does. Barkley's already played Taylor played Northwestern. He only got 80 yards, but that's because they were throwing the ball mostly in that game for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's why that game was so close, 33-24.
Who's Wisconsin got this week?
Nebraska. Nebraska.
What happened to that program? Remember that program used to be just when you had them on your schedule, you were afraid to play them.
Yeah, that was the days when their helmet was we'll call it eggshell white, where it was kind of that creamy looking white yellow color. Now it's plain white.
Yep.
And as funny as it may sound, because it has nothing to do with it, but I do find it comical. That helmet, when they changed it, is when they started losing.
Yeah.
It's a coincidence. I just find it funny. Has nothing to do with anything, but it just does. So let me see if anybody made any more statements, because if not, let's see. So, but yeah, damn phone's ringing again, and I don't know why, and that's fine because I was just getting ready to end the show because I just realized what time it is. So, Ed, I appreciate you joining me. We're gonna end this one.
Hey, heck yeah!
All right, man.
Got an hour till my try, please.
Yep. Stay pension. I'll put the draft order up soon. All right, gentlemen. Thanks. Catch you guys down the road later.